Susan, thank you for inviting me to your home. So what are we in store for today?
I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to be making some homemade pasta, and I thought we would put together some oven roasted tomatoes. These tomatoes came from my backyard garden, so you know they're super fresh. Always the best way to get produce is to grow it yourself. And then we're also going to make some pesto with some additional basil that came from the garden. Absolutely love to smell this. You smell that?
Oh, that smells really good.
So we're going to start with our...
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
We're going to start with making some oven roasted tomatoes. This is so amazingly easy to make and so healthy, and you can do this with anything. I love to put it in fresh pasta. You can add it to the top of grits if you're a real southerner and you make a lot of grits and put bacon and all that yumminess on it. So easy to make. So you just basically are going to put your tomatoes on there.
Okay.
I have olive oil in here, and I like to use a generous amount of olive oil on this because I like all the juices that are going to come out.
That's a nice way of pouring it,
yes.
right? So then you can monitor. Because Susan, I'll tell you, sometimes I just take the can and I just
dump it on.
And then sometimes it's too much. Okay, so that's the proper way of doing it, right?
That's
having the right tools in the kitchen.
Yes, having the right tools is very important.
Okay.
Love this. We keep it on the counter. We have another one that has avocado oil in it, which is a very neutral cooking oil. You can use it in place of butter if you're making a grilled cheese or anything. Really cuts down on the fat. So we like to have things, and of course it's pretty, right?
It's very pretty.
Great sitting there.
Very pretty. Okay.
I have some Italian seasoning in here, and you can really use whatever you want. But this has kind of a blend of some basil along with some oregano, a little bit of salt. And we're just gonna take that. We're just gonna pour it right on the top to give it some extra flavor.
Your kitchen. I can already smell like. Between the basil and the spices.
Take a little bit of salt out of our salt bin. We're just going to give that a quick little sprinkle.
Now that salt looks a little coarser than like regular thing in the blue can.
Yes, so you got to be careful not to over salt. If you're using the thicker kosher salt, you have to be careful about that.
Okay.
We're going to give it a couple of rounds here of some black pepper. And then all we're going to do is basically just mix it up. So we're going to take our spatula. We're just gonna be sure everything is coated really, really well in here. I'm getting so excited. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna burst those little tomatoes over time. I'm gonna cook this kind of...
You don't really need to cut them lengthwise. You just let it roast like that.
Let it roast like this.
Wonderful.
Roast, baby, roast, right? So we're gonna put it right in our oven and we're gonna check on it in about 20 minutes. And what you're gonna see is it's gonna create the burst tomatoes, and what's going to happen is it's really going to burst out with flavor, and all the little insides of the tomatoes are going to come out. It's going to mix with that olive oil, it's going to mix with those seasonings, and you're going to get this amazing extra sauce on the side that's going to be perfect paired with our pesto and our homemade noodles. Okay, so next up is our homemade pasta. Have you ever made homemade pasta before?
Well, I have. My grandfather was actually a chef. He grew up in Switzerland. He was from the Italian part of Switzerland. His name was Ronaldo Campana. Oh. However, I want to find out the way that Susan Caldwell does it.
Because might be different.
You know, Southern hospitality correspondent that you are.
Right.
I'm in for something good. So let's go.
Awesome. Well, I made a test batch yesterday and I let it dry because when you're making homemade noodles, it's going to be wet, of course. And so you can make it and use or cook the noodles now, or you can make them and then let them dry out. This is just a drying rack. You can see we basically have made some linguine here, and they're all different sizes because when you cut it, you can decide how long or short or thick or thin you really want each noodle to be. But you can see now, because these have been drying out, they're slowly falling apart.
They're perfect.
So they're dried
and
noodles.
It's edible like right now,
yeah,
right?
you could eat it if you wanted
you can?
to. Yeah,
just
probably
dry
doesn't
pasta?
have a whole lot of taste to it, but
okay.
Yeah, you want to try it?
I'll try a little.
Okay. Not a lot of flavor.
Not a lot of flavor, but it will have flavor when we pesto it up, right?
Absolutely. And if you wanted to add flavor to the noodles, you could always add some sun-dried tomatoes or some spinach to the batter.
Okay.
And then, or to the dough. And then it will give it a little bit more flavor. You might have seen the green noodles in the store, the red noodles in the store. That's because they've mixed in some vegetables into the dough. And then when it dries out, it has that glorious green or red color to it. All right, so to get started, you don't need a whole lot. And we're making things very simple, very easy today in the Lunchbox Heroes kitchen. You need flour, you need salt, you need eggs, and you need 2 forks. That's it.
Okay.
As far as homemade pasta goes. So what we're gonna do first of all.
That's so simple.
So simple.
Give that to me again one more time. It is flour, salt, and
eggs, and 2 forks.
Wow.
And a pasta machine, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So we're gonna be sure we measure out the correct amount of flour. And a lot of people make this bad mistake of, okay, I need 2 cups of flour. Let me scoop down. We're in the wrong color today. And I'm gonna get 2 cups. No, so this is a 1 cup measure. That's more like almost 2 cups of flour in there, because when the process of scooping down packs it in.
Okay.
So you should never measure flour like that.
Okay.
The way you're gonna wanna really measure flour is to take a smaller scooper.
Okay.
So this is a 1/2 cup. You're gonna scoop it up and then pour it.
Got it.
Into it.
So that's more like a level cup as opposed to like.
That's right.
Okay.
Then you level it off. And then you have the perfect 1 cup. So this is pretty much for any recipe that you're ever baking with. A lot of people will tell you that baking is the most difficult thing because they can't get it right. And I'm like, it's probably because
science.
You did, it's a science, and you didn't measure the ingredients out right.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the same thing as we need another cup.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that, use our knife, level it off. We're gonna pour it here. Now you don't have to use a tray, but I've cooked with kids and families so many times that I've learned contained messes is far better, especially with flour, because otherwise it's truly flour everywhere.
And it's easier to see with the red instead of the white on the Carrara.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is basically, I kind of did that. I'm gonna form a mountain.
Okay.
All the kids absolutely that I cook with really like forming the mountain. And then it's like digging in, you're gonna create a volcano. You're gonna create a well right into the middle of that. So you're gonna build up some little walls.
It's kind of like hibachi when they make it, right? That's like the train with the...
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so we're making a well. That's called a well?
Yes, that's a well. So it's down, or volcano, whatever you call it. Now we got eggs. What do you think we're gonna do with the eggs?
We're gonna pour them right in.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, wait, no, we don't scramble them first? Leave them whole?
No, you can leave them whole.
Leave them whole. So that is 3 eggs with the yolk not separated, just in the whites, and there you go.
And it's okay if it runs over. I always like it when it stays together, but that's all right if it's not quite that way.
Okay.
So next thing we're gonna do, and I'll let you do this part, because I've been doing all the cooking, so you're gonna take those 2 forks and you're basically gonna put or whip the flour right into the egg. So,
oh my goodness.
Just like that. That's exactly right. You got one escapee egg over there.
All right.
So you're gonna do that and till it becomes a dough ball. And it's going to take you a little bit of time because you got to incorporate all of that flour.
Susan, this is not this. You make it look so easy. It's a little daunting, but I think I got it. Got to get that motion going, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I always like to put a little bit on my hands.
Okay.
And then you can rub them together. You can say, hi.
Jazz hands. I think I'm getting it. Oh, I'm like kind of kneading it now.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job getting there.
Wow.
So, because what you're going to eventually do is you have to knead this for about 10 minutes. And, you know, a lot of people get very technical about the correct way to knead dough. And with kids, when I cook with them, a lot of times I'm like, we squeeze it and make snakes. How long can you make it, right? And it's all about making it fun. All right, so I think we're just about
that looks
done
so pretty.
kneading it. I just took half of it because it's easier sometimes just to work with. But what we have to do is we have to really spread it out into long sheets. Think about lasagna sheets, right?
Yeah.
Those are long, thin pieces
different shapes.
of noodles. Yeah.
Same ingredients, different shapes,
So the first thing we have to do is really thin this out because if we tried to cook that, it's not gonna work.
No.
You'll see that these 2 big balls or pieces of steel are rubbing together.
Okay.
And they're rubbing
like a music
together.
box.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And what you're gonna do is really just get this flatter. So we're gonna start it kind of on the largest one, and I always say put a little bit of extra flour on it.
Okay.
Just so that it doesn't stick. And we're gonna roll it in again. You ready?
I'm ready.
So it's coming out. Again, it's gonna be much much longer.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. That's the pasta.
Hold it right there. We're going to take it one more notch, make it even
Here we
even
go.
better. So we've made officially in the past the world's largest noodle. All right, you ready?
So where do we put this piece?
So you're going to hold it right there until it catches. Yep.
In between right here?
Yep, that's
wow,
perfect.
here we go. I'm so excited.
And down at the bottom,
right? I have
you
to
will
catch
see what's coming
the
out
ribbons.
on the other side.
The
Look
ribbons.
They need to cook for about 7 minutes, rapidly boiling water. I've had that over there going on my stove.
Okay, and do you put salt and oil in your water, Susan, or do you avoid that?
I usually put salt. The problem with the oil, and you see a lot of people do this, is so oil prevents anything from sticking. So if you put oil in your water, it's going to prevent that beautiful sauce that we made from sticking to these noodles. So you don't ever want to add oil to your pot because then your sauce will not stick. So we're going to start with just 2 cups of basil. I basically had another plant like this and I pulled it off. So I'm going to just dump those right here in my blender.
Okay, and they're just like loosely gathered in there.
Loosely
it's
gathered.
It's not like brown sugar where you've got to pack it down,
that's
right?
right.
Okay,
that's right.
So you want to use about 2 cups just kind of loosely there.
That's right, about 2 cups in there. And you can make this in a food processor. I am just always quick to grab the Ninja blender, but you just want to use something that's good quality. So we're going to add in our 1/2 cup there.
When you say good quality, is that like when you go for like a first press olive oil?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And so sometimes we have to add a little bit more if it's just too thick, and we'll find out a little bit earlier. So it's always great to have your handy dandy olive oil close by. We use a lot of substitution. So I actually have some walnuts here that we're gonna use. I did not grow these, nor did I crack them, but
good to know.
Yeah, and so we're gonna put 2 tablespoons right into our blender here.
Shred it.
That's right. Go! It's thick, it's chunky. I don't like it super runny. I don't like it so that you can't identify everything in it. That's so good. Absolutely beats anything you can find in the store in a jar. And definitely a staple in the Caldwell house and in the Lunchbox Heroes kitchen because you could do so much with it.
This is a big wow. Wow factor. Thank you for this.
Welcome.
I am like in love with this because, well, for a few reasons. It's made by you, and it just is so personal, you know, and it's so cute. And I love the font. So obviously you have new things to show Susan.
Let's see what we brought over today for Lunchbox Heroes.
Fresh off the machine.
Okay.
I've got some chef's
Wow, look at that.
We
That's
changed
great.
the logo a little bit just so it could fit on there.
Okay.
So we edited that in our software, and then we've got a chef's
Wow,
coat.
look at it.
I like the quality of what you're
The
embroidering as
stitching.
well.
Look at how awesome the stitching is. Like
very
it's just
even.
absolutely perfect. I don't think I could do anything and get it that perfect. So you did
You
a great job.
Excellent.
Oh, these are cute.
Yeah.
Kids' aprons.
And so all of this is going to be available in our store, online store that's launching in the first quarter of 2025. So we'll be able to custom embroider whatever you want. If you've got a birthday coming up, if you've got a cooking class coming up that you're attending one of our online immersive cooking classes, you can order all of this in advance. Jordan and the Sewing Shawl are our exclusive provider for all of our embroidery. So tell us a little bit more about what you do aside from stuff for Lunchbox Heroes.
So I love partnering with businesses to create logos and make their vision come to life on what they want. But I also do private embroidery for individuals, whoever needs anything. So
that's
I've got
really
this
nice. A little tea towel.
tea towel for the bathroom, and then this little tissue box cover
that's
that
so
you can use. So that one's really grand millennials. The new
This is
thing.
very Southern, by the way.
Topiary and bow.
I would put that. I would like this little northerner who actually grew up in the Midwest.
I always associate.
So you just don't want to leave a roll of toilet paper out?
Okay.
Is that the deal?
You
want
cover it.
Tidy it up.
Cover your
You don't want to look
tissue
at my
box
bathroom then.
cover.
Tidy it up.
No, every time I see a bow, I
Oh,
associate it with being Southern.
Oh.
Because I always say that the larger the bow is, the more Southern someone is in the kids' hair. So that's what made me think of it.
Oh,
So
I love that.
Yeah,
See,
so
I'm learning things.
the bigger the bow, the more Southern you are.
Okay.
If it doesn't move, you monogram it.
Right.
And if it does move, you put a bow on it.
That's right.
So
Awesome.
the girls, if it's not in their hair, it can be on their shirt. So I like to do a lot of kids'
That's
clothing.
right.
So
But congratulations to you. So I'm definitely going to go to your website. What is it? How can we find you?
So it's just Sewing Shaw, SEWINGSHAW.com.
Excellent.
And I saw a recent new YouTube channel that you have coming out.
yes.
Very great presence on social media. What is your Instagram on
Instagram
handle?
is The Sewing Shaw.
Okay.
And then YouTube name is The Sewing Shaw.
Awesome.
So
It's pretty simple.
they're all linked and you can find everything.
Be sure you check out our online store launching in Q1 of 2025 and let us know what you want embroidered on your new chef's coat. And thank you, Jordan, for coming by today.
So nice to meet you. And then, again, thank you so much for the heart gift. You know, it's lovely. And I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.